on the weekly, I've been saying to you guys, and take note, Bitcoin on the weekly time frame, guys. This is HODL time frame. This is your spot alts we're talking about. Nothing bearish. I explained to you guys that we can go to 42K and then only come back. And it seems like that is becoming a reality. BTC wants to go to 42K. Well, it's there already. And maybe it can go a little bit higher. So so let's look at that a little bit higher then. Okay, so I'm going to go to Bitcoin on the daily for that. So if we look at Bitcoin on the daily time frame and we apply our supply and demand waves, take this line, move it to the last time we had hell of a lot of supply and a hell of a lot of demand, which kind of brings us into this zone here. So you can put it there, you can put it there, and you can put it there, and you can put it there. Now, why all these lines? A simple, level-headed bloke would say, well, if you put enough lines on the screen, Rudo, the price is bound to hit it. That is correct. But the idea with this is not to find the next destination, the end destination. It's like to find a destination roadmap. Trading, the best we can do is try and identify highest probable areas. And once we're there, then try and make a decision. Otherwise, you're constantly going to ask yourself, is this the top? Is this the top? Is this the top? No, is this not the top? And that's what we're trying to avoid. So we're trying to look for the highest probability areas where the market would want to turn around. So if we look at this, where we are now, this daily still has potential to do what? To go tag that 42,800, to go a little bit above 42,800. So should you be holding long positions and you would want to move up a stop, what this means is your stop was supposed to be below that. Now your stop needs to be below this. You can secure a little bit more gains. That's it. Now, next target, simply put, would be easily identified if we actually head over to the CME chart. Now, the CME created yet another gap. Now, we know how the saying goes, CME gaps tend to get filled. Now, if you look at this from the past, there's a CME gap, there's a CME gap, they tend to get filled. Yes, same thing again. If you draw enough boxes, they might get crossed. But the reality is we're trying to look for a destination map, just to try and see how and until where we can manage our expectations. So we've got a gap still sitting at the top at 52. And the potential is that once we get to that 52K area, we might have a reaction. So who is to say that where price is now, we can't go all the way to 52K and then only come back? Okay, guys, just a quick special thank you before we head over to the alts. Bybit, today's video sponsor. Why do I trade with Bybit? Why should you trade with Bybit? Well, apart from the wide array of coins listed on their accounts, the futures and the reduced prices, they also have a really good deposit reward bonus if you open your Bybit account using our link. So head over to Bybit, make sure to take benefit or take advantage of this. Get that free money and use that to trade with leverage. So at the end of the day that you can expose yourself to something new, but without risking hard saved and earned capital. Okay. Right, guys, let's head over to the alts real quick. Now, altcoins, let's scroll right up to the top. Token metrics has been giving us bullish signals for a while. And the breakout strategy, or the basically looking at the low volume sentiment of coins breaking out, points to a real high probability that anything that you're looking at now wise will have a strong breakout probability. And the bull bear sentiment meter basically supports the fact that the breakout needs to be to the upper end. Now, this is all algorithmically calculated, looking at all the coin gecko pairings. I mean, there's thousands and thousands of coins. So you have a really good idea of what the predominant trend is. That being said, our alt season, which is what we're looking at now, we want to look at the alts. I shared a lot of TP zones for you guys last week, and most of them, or a lot of them, got hit. So we need to look at those. Is there more? You know, that's the big question. And will there be an alt season? So we're going to need to look at the Bitcoin dominance because of this. Now, this thing is trending up to the upside and we're fighting a resistance area. So could this be a scenario where we have this breakdown and then alt season? Or do we just pump to alt season? That's a good question I want to try and see if I can answer for you guys. Ultimately, sectors that's doing really well is the metaverse sector, with Floki being the leader at the moment. Now I know BTC is stealing a lot of everybody's thunder. So there's some coins, and some of these smaller coins will have double-digit gains, but the big babies, they don't have double-digit gains just yet, but that will come if the momentum holds on. These will wake up. So look at the metaverse coins, look at yield farming coins, and still from last week, DeFi is still high up there. Now I've looked at comp earlier, and today we're going to address comp and see where it's there. So what do we have from an alt perspective? We've got a lot of double-digit alts, and this is normally then a really good day to trade altcoins should you want to, because there's clearly momentum waiting there. Now, Super is one of those that we looked at way back. I drew the FIP the last time, and I said, if we could lose the 23.6, your buy is 38.2 for the continuation. Now we've created yet another divergence. So the rule is simple. You take this FIP, the same FIP that I've got, you move it up there, and your support is there. Lose that there. Stay below that, then reversal. And the buy price, because we went higher, has now shifted. The 887 is still the ideal target. So all that's happened now is that shifted up to about 51. Now, why? Well, look at this. It's had a long accumulation. It's now basically filling the same gap back, and a test of this entire range is due. And that would be the most probable area for the buy. Technically speaking, from the 618 all the way down, but yeah, let's leave it at that. We'll wait for the price to retrace before that happens. Let's head over to Solana. And while you're at it, share with a friend. Share the love. Let's make sure they get exposed to common sense technical analysis and not just hype. Okay. Solana. So the target I gave you guys last week for Solana was that we're potentially going to still go to 69.74. Now, what has Solana done for us over the weekend? Pretty much we've reclawed above this range. That's okay, but that's still going to hit as resistance. So the 65 cent is potentially still a resistance. So if Bitcoin were to throw a hissy fit while Solana is still below this line, this then becomes less of a probability. Now, how would you guard against that? Should you still be in Solana? Well, typically, you would keep an eye on this momentum line. What is this line, and what does it really signify? All that it does, it tells you that this is the angle of time, and this is the angle of gains. And in order for momentum to remain, what needs to happen? For the same amount of time, we still need the same amount of gains. Otherwise, momentum slowing down. Simple as that. And we know when something gets cold, people don't like it that much. So as long as it's hot, as long as this momentum is there, dream big. Dream for higher targets. Once the momentum's no longer there, consider that it needs to go back into the oven before we can have more. That's all. Okay, so for Solana at this point, 69.74 still there. Now, in an instance that this thing goes ballistic for all of a sudden, and we break above 81, then don't think about taking profit. So you've got a job. You need to understand that you can sell a little bit once it's there and wait. If it goes above that, don't sell more. Don't worry about this line, because then we're going ballistic. Then we're going to go to that 185 and 105. So that's kind of the hold for more targets line. So it's up to you to define the risk and how much you would hold, but understand that nobody ever in their history will be so lucky to buy there and sell there. Although we hope, if we know enough technical analysis, that that's possible, but the reality is within the swing, there's a lot. You need to define when it is enough and how much of what you have is for the long run and how much of what you have you need to realize now. Because I'm just like you. I don't have an infinite pool of USDT coming my way. So if I want to buy and expose myself to something new that's maybe pumping, that's not run yet, how am I going to do that? I can take some of this profit and put it over there. And that's the thing about a trending bull cycle. You don't take profit and stay in dollars. You take profit to get into a new project that is about to move. Okay, let's head over to Matic. So the same thing, Matic's holding its momentum. It's amazing. So, and it's got right back above the original resistance level. That was almost a bit of a cautionary tale for us last week, Friday. So that being said, time goes, Bitcoin holds where it's at. Matic is due to go to $1.04. That's the original long TP zone from the original Matic buy away there. So then we should be hitting that, and then I will be securing some Matic profits from my spot bags. Link went to TP1 originally, and the argument is I'm still waiting for TP2. So it reclaimed TP1 level resistance. It's now turned it into support, and it's on its way. So I still think $17 thereabout is a really good TP zone for Link. Reduce some. Why? So that I can get exposure on something else, not necessarily just to be in dollars. And if Link goes above $19, it really opens the door for Link to go ballistic. Now, on a probability scale, because of the success Link's had, I would not think that this is going to happen now. But my opinion, just like yours, means nothing. So if that does happen, 28, that's the next target price. Then we're going to be holding for that price unless we lose momentum. Cardano finally showed some energy over the weekend as well. It held its momentum, which is a really good sign, and it's nearly at its TP. So it fell short with a few cents, but I still feel like it's going to push in that area. So first little ladder out or secure some gains for next opportunity for me for my Cardano bags is about to happen. So BNB was a big, had a lot of controversial thoughts and things behind it, especially in the last few weeks. It's breaking out this descending triangle, which means that we probably game on. This big shakeout, if we need to engulf this though. So I expect BNB to do big things or fail in this instance. And where it's at now, it's at that critical point where it needs to make a decision. This now either needs to be an engulfing candle or needs to decide what it wants to stay below this area. So BNB at this stage, I'm happy to hold. The line I have is still 219. Thou shall not cross. That's where I am uncomfortable being in BNB. Okay. Bitcoin Cash. So I gave you guys this for a while ago. I explained to you guys the wick. I explained to you guys the wick theory, how you can use it to know when a wick will get filled and when a wick is a reversal wick and vice versa. And we had our buy. We held demand beautifully. It looked hairy at one stage, but we held. And today is the day where we decide whether we're breaking out or not. So Bitcoin Cash has got a job to do. So your job is just to wait in 10 hours time to see whether we're above this line or whether we're below this line. Below this line, it opens the probability again for more downside. Okay. And if we're above this line, great. Hold for more. Why? Because the original idea is that this thing needs to go make a higher high in order for the weekly timeframes to have some sort of a reversal divergence. So the target is that this thing needs to go at least there at a 300. So there's a real big premium and a big gainer. BNB can be, Bitcoin Cash can be a really big gainer for us. So I'm happy with what I'm seeing. This does look really bullish, but we've got 10 hours. We have to wait. Tomorrow we'll be back on YouTube and we can look at this again. But for now, enjoy it. No warning signs. It's going to go a little bit higher. Uni is one of those that really surprised me. At one stage, I was thinking is losing momentum, and it popped out of nowhere. Big gaps. So what do we know? 50% of the candle that makes the higher high is the buy. So if there's a fear condition in the market, Uni does have the opportunity to still go back to $5 before it goes to its TP target. Okay. If it doesn't want to retrace and wants to go to TP as well, I'm more than happy to do that and wait for Uni to go there. So for now, that's the area where I'm still comfortable waiting to TP some of my units. Cardano. We looked at Cardano. I said, well, guys, if we hold momentum, that's the possibility. We are holding momentum, so that's the possibility. 73 cents, 79 cents. Thank you. Render held momentum and went to the TP zone and currently creating a doji candle. More importantly, look at what Render is doing. Okay, and what do we know about this? It's not the end of the world if this happens, but what do we not want to see? We don't want to see price fall below these pivots. So now this pink line needs to be moved there, or that danger line, okay? And if price were to come back below $3.43, that's the problem then. Then we can argue that we're going to go and visit lower areas. The original momentum was quite flat for render, so I don't want to see it falling below $3. So that's it. Where it's at, it's a nice area to take some render gains. Full disclosure, don't own any render, but that would be a good area to secure some because there's more coins coming around the corner that we can grab a buy on. Go above $4.37, then render is open again for some insane gains. Okay, so keep an eye on that one. INJ broke down, created a little bit of a scare for everybody, but still, remember the rule with support. If you have a candle, open and close below it. You need a candle to open and close below it. That's when support is lost. Now, what will happen if price were to sell down? Okay, we've got an RSI that's been resetting really fast, holding momentum, hidden bullish divergence. So I would expect a higher high before that happens. Now, we do have on closing price a higher high. So there is hidden bearish divergence, a strong bearish divergence in play. But if we were to reclaim this line, guess what? We can still go for that target. So I'll be hopeful, keeping an eye on momentum for INJ. Okay, won't buy any new. So if you don't go and buy now thinking you can make that money. The risk is really high because where's your invalidation? Your invalidation is below 30. So don't try and do that. Okay, back to candles. Ocean broke out nicely. Okay, the idea was when it broke out, I said to you guys, if it comes back to that, there's an opportunity. It didn't. It just went. It took off like stink. Okay, so it's okay. It's at the TP range. Now, what do we have? Yes, the alts is showing a lot of scary stuff here, guys. We've got strong bearish divergence. Okay, but what can we do? Well, simply put, there's the pivot. I need to squeeze this thing a little bit more. There's the pivot. So all this up to there is still fair game. This is chop. You can deal with this. You should be able to deal with this. Okay, that's your job. Now, what do? Extend momentum. This thing can do this and range and range and range until it's there, and then decide to go above it or break and go below it. We're going to have to wait this one out. But for now, I'm happy. I won't add in on this one. You're playing the take profit game now, not the get in game with this one. Sui is a problem for me. We are holding momentum. Great. Thank you, Sui, for holding momentum. But we're also struggling to get above this. So we had an insanely bullish Bitcoin. And then what did Sui do? Nothing. It's still at 60 cents. So my money isn't making more money for me. So I rather want to do what? Be part of resistance, sell more Sui, and look for something else. Alif Zero, problem child. Okay, so it fell down lower. It's fighting resistance. Now, what are we getting? We've got an RSI that's resetting. Okay. We've got momentum in play. Come on, give me that. We've got momentum in play. But if we don't get above this $1.38, this becomes hard. So do you buy now? No, I won't buy now. But do I hold more? Yes, I'll still hold for that because I still feel that that's a potential. Okay, let's look at Gaspar. Gaspar is well on its way. There's nothing actually more I need to say. Momentum's in check. You can still hold for that. Okay. Yes, this is what I think a lot of the alts are seeing now. If we go there, yet again, another strong bearish divergence. This insane 2.5 months of milk and honey that's been thrown our way is at some stage going to have to turn sour. We need to go get new milk and honey. That's when we can utilize our gains and buy. Okay. Tau on its way, hit the TP as explained. Rio has failed. Now, what is Rio doing? It's making lower lows on the RSI, making higher lows. So basically, all that Rio is doing is resetting to its original momentum. Okay. So there's a buy. So see, if you want to take some of your good movers, grab a little bit of Rio here, because if it does this, then you can have that run again with Rio, and that's another 50%, guys. Okay. Comp. I spoke to you guys earlier about comp. Comp on a Wyckoff scale is in the buy zone. So this is, remember, a Wyckoff big investment type of scale. DeFi is trending. Comp is not moving just yet. So I'll wait patiently. There's a doji candle there, or Darth Maul candle there. It basically tells us it doesn't really know what it wants to do. Even the holders and investors are a little unsure. So let's give it the benefit of the trend and say, let's stay in it for a little bit longer. But if it starts breaking down, I expect us to go and revisit these targets, and then we'll pick it up from there. Remember, Wyckoff is a backwards looking analysis, which means when you identify the C, you buy C, you buy phase D, and you buy phase E. And if it fails, you have to reassess whether that truly was the C, D, and E. Okay. Didex trying to break out. I still see higher highs there. 1 inch trying to break out. I still see higher highs there. Nice little trick with this one. 50% of that wick is probably where you're going to want to short this thing. Okay. So breakout. Let's see. Target there. Short there. Okay. Let's leave that squibbles on the screen and we can come back to that. Phantom. Going to do Phantom real quick. Phantom is also, it's like Sui. It's kind of fighting resistance, holding momentum. So if it does want to pop, we can quickly put that momentum flip on there. Let's put it on. Dish. Phantom sitting right there, 39 cents. Okay, that's it. Let's quickly head over to your comments. I saw a lot here. From Mohammed. Should we sell alts, admit wait for BTC to correct, or should we hold as alts are lagging a lot? And if BTC corrects now, they are going to dump hard. No, I would actually think on the contrary with that. What we've seen, and this is why I've been holding off on the dominance. So let me quickly bring up BTC dominance chart. I just need to see where I hit it from myself again. I love doing that. So this is what I'm trying to say to you. So remember when we were here, let's do this. The first time we had divergence, I explained to you that there's more Bitcoin momentum, that a lot more can do, or Muhammad, let's rather say. Now, that's still the case. So what happens is while Bitcoin grinds sideways and loses momentum, that's when the alts get an opportunity to sell off. That's currently the trend. See, Bitcoin goes sideways, and in the up end, that's when the dominance gets its moment to reverse. This one went sideways with a slight bullish undertone, where this one was a little bit uncertain, and the dominance still retraced. So that being said, big move. You're going to have to wait and see, because you won't know until you're there. If Bitcoin starts doing this, and remember, Bitcoin can do this, okay, and maybe break out or not. You know, that's the big question. As this happens, you might have that same slowdown there, and that's then when the dominance sell off. Why? Let's make the dominance big, okay? If this is a coin, what are you getting? A higher high on the dominance with yet another divergence. Means that we can get yet another mini alt season. Okay. The risk, though, is I cannot give you a guaranteed answer. I can just explain to you that this is the potential possibilities, and the risk is waiting to find out. Really big problem, guys. Rudo, there was a post in your general chat from an admin for a token airdrop. Stupid, inexperienced as I am, I followed the link and connected my wallet. Mistake. Please be aware and block. The problem with this is why I tend to say stop being in the community areas. There's a reason we put a pay gate and we put a limit in there and a control group. And it's not just to make money, but it's to get you in an area where you're safe. Because the people that are in here are not going to throw links at. They fellow viewers, they're actually trustworthy. Here's where I tend to talk, because it can be used and it can be useful. But as soon as you're in any of these areas, it's so easy for somebody to, there it is, do some bullshit like that. And my eyes cannot be everywhere. While I'm preparing for a stream, this guy's throwing in it. This is mid in my prepared time. And that type of things. So yes, then I can block and report, but the damage is done. So please, I'm not trying to sell something on you guys, but that is why we've got these gated communities, because these guys are safe. Okay, this is where friends trade with each other. Okay, so just as a little tip. But please, guys, be safe. Bull market's coming, so this type of stuff is going to become more and more obvious. Okay. I think that's about that, guys, for today. Thanks so much for tuning in. To each and every one of you guys, I really appreciate you guys. Make sure to go share the video with friends. Help grow the YouTube channel. You're in control with that. And remember, as always, to keep on hustling, guys.
I'll keep hustling.